And it depends on how they come up. You can do direct.
The best, you know, when you can just hang out and drink beer and eat hot dogs.
What turns girls off is when they're just kind of creepy and standing there.
I mean, it's nice when you find a guy that gives you're both on equal levels, but it's really hard to find that.
The best first date for me would be an activity, like a physical activity, like bike riding, mountain climbing, just to keep it casual and to see if you can do something together and work.
The best, you know, when you can just hang out and drink beer and eat hot dogs and yell at the team that you hate. That's always a ton of fun. And you can really, it's a very relaxed environment.
As far as first dates go, I don't like them because I feel, for the majority of them, I've had a couple first dates that have actually been okay, but a lot of them have been job interviews. I am not interviewing for you. You are interviewing for me. And so, you know, when they're asking me questions, and I think that's good that they're very curious, but their questions are so structured. And it's just like, so tell me about this and tell me about that. And then I feel like sometimes they're digging a little too far, a little bit too much into your life for it to be considered a first date. You know, keep it casual, keep it easy, and keep it fun. I mean, don't try and know my whole life story by the end of the day, because it's not going to happen.
Nowadays, but men tend to think that they take a girl out on a date and they pay for everything. All right, so now they owe me. Like, now they got to pay me back. Sorry, it doesn't work that way. You know, your benefit for taking me out is my company, is the way I like to think of it, you know, conversation.
And just don't be awkward, and don't talk about your ex. I mean, you can give us a little brief summary if you must, but don't get into it and sit there and like want to cry, because we can see the hurt in your eyes and we don't want to deal with it. We don't want to put the pieces back together.
Discussion, you're first meeting this woman, you maybe haven't even had a lengthy phone conversation. Maybe you could avoid going into the whole, you know, perhaps you're still blaming your ex for something that happened. Maybe your ex took your dog and isn't giving it back, whatever. That, you know, none of that really needs to be mentioned over a nice candlelit dinner. You know, it's more about two strangers getting to know one another. So let that be the highlight of the evening versus bringing all the other junk.
For first dates, I'm not really comfortable with like those intentional romantic settings. You know, I feel like it's inappropriate at this point.
Someone wanted to make a request as to what I wear to the first date. They wanted me to wear something short. And yeah, exactly. It made me raise a brow a little bit, like, oh, all right, you know, all right, that's fine, I'll keep it going. And then just throughout the conversation, they kind of brought up, like, I don't know, apparently they just had like a leg thing, they had a thing for legs, and it's really too early to be telling me that, you know, on the first date. Really.
If I go somewhere with you, call me old-fashioned, I guess. And I'm willing to pay, I really am, but on the first date, if a guy makes you pay, no, that's not gonna happen ever again.
They mentioned like an outfit they might want me to wear for them. It's like, whoa, slow your roll a little bit. It's kind of out there.
I like to know that I have all his attention. Like, I like to see him, you know, looking and being curious and wanting to know. And, you know, when I ask him a question, he can give me a full-on answer, and we're just really like meshing and connecting.
But for the first evening, just don't be on your best behavior so much. That's like encouraging you to be fake, if anything. Just be yourself, be confident, be relaxed, and if you're nervous, just say so. I've done that. I've been on blind dates, and I'll look over at the guy, and I'm like, are you nervous? And he's like, kinda, are you? And I said, totally. I've never been on a blind date before. Or, you know, if it's just a regular date, I'll say, you know, I'm a little bit nervous. I'm trying to impress you right now, and I don't need to do that. That's silly. And he's like, ha, and he laughs, and I could tell like all this weight is lifted from his shoulders.
I have noticed men just try to move quickly and just, I don't know, probably get me in the sack. And I think it's pretty obvious with little things like, oh, you know, would you sit on my lap? Yeah, I've gotten that. And that's when I knew, never going on a date with this person again?
Well, on a first date, if he and I are sitting at a table and we cheers, we have our first drink, and he looks at me and says, "Man, it's been a long day. I got another phone call from my ex, and oh my gosh, she's driving me nuts." And he goes into the whole story. And here it is 45 minutes, an hour later, and he's still talking about his ex relationship. Immediately what that tells me is, number one, he's not available, because he's still got her on the brain, whether it's good or bad, she's still on the brain. And number two, that he's not mature.
So listening is a very, very important skill. I mean, it's nice when you find a guy that gives you're both on equal levels, but it's really hard to find that. It really is.
So wherever you're at right now, it's fine. But if you're not happy, it's time to do something different.